watching Let's Chat.
Good morning and welcome back. Vol Nation all across America, Atlantic to Pacific, Canada, down to Mexico. It has been an incredibly exciting football season for the Tennessee Volunteers, and probably no one's had a better seat to all the action than this guy. Our next guest, the illustrious Bob Kessling. Bob, good morning.
Hey, Chip, good to talk to you again.
First of all, Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Wow, 11-2, the Vols for the season, 6-2 in the SEC. You had, as I mentioned a moment ago, arguably the best seat in the house to all of these victories. I wanted to ask you, in a nutshell, as you look back, and you've had a few times since the Vols' last game, to look back and reflect on this past season, what are some of the things that stick out in your mind?
Well, some things that stick out, the big moments, the big wins over Florida and over Alabama, nobody will forget that. And, of course, Clemson in the Orange Bowl. I mean, those are marquee victories that Tennessee hadn't been getting a lot of those in recent years. And the fact this was a well-coached football team. Hendon Hooker had a phenomenal season. Too bad it ended the way it did. But there were so many highlights. There, a couple bumps in the road.
Sure.
Obviously, people will always talk about the loss to South Carolina. That was a head-scratcher. But when you look back at the beginning of the season, if people would have told you Tennessee would have won 11 games and gone to the Orange Bowl and beaten Clemson, they would have taken that in a heartbeat. So there was a lot of good things to reflect back on. And I think, Chip, the one thing about this season is I think Josh Heupel, the first year he built the foundation a little bit. I think he solidified the foundation because recruiting's going well. People know about Tennessee now. Tennessee's a national brand again,
right?
And that's always a good thing.
It seemed that, of course, a lot of folks, a lot of fans, and even just the casual observers were a little skeptical after Hooker got hurt, and this guy named Joe Milton steps in. Milton stepped in with style and flair, didn't he?
Well, there's no doubt that he's a tremendous athlete. I mean, if you stand up next to him, you look, my goodness, how he's put together and his strong arm. I talked to him. He told me the story that when he was like in third or fourth grade, I said, when did you know you're going to be a quarterback? He said, I was third or fourth grade and playing football. They put me at tight end, and because of his size. And he told the coach, I think I'd like to try and play quarterback. He said, you're too big to play quarterback. You got to play tight end. Well, let me at least try. So they put him out there and let him throw a couple of slants. They put him at quarterback to stay. So, he's had that strong arm his entire career. And I think, everybody had thoughts, how is Joe Milton going to handle this as a starting quarterback?
Sure.
We saw what happened 2 years ago. It didn't really go very well. But he has really matured even more. I mean, he was already a mature guy when he got here. He'd already graduated from Michigan. And so he comes here, and he and Hendon Hooker would join at the hip. In fact, even during the Orange Bowl, Hendon was giving him quizzes about what do you call when you see this defense and what do you do?
Right.
Because Hendon was at the hotel for every single meeting and at the game as well. So I think he learned a lot. And, I think it was kind of a humbling thing for Joe when he came in here. He thought he was going to come in here, waltz in here and be the starting quarterback and all those type things. And then he got banged up and Hendon got a chance to play and took the job away from him. Well, that can humble you a little bit. And Joe didn't pout or didn't think I'm going to the transfer portal. He just went to kind of like Hendon Hooker did 2 years ago. What do I need to do to get on the field? And Coach Heupel told him, and he really, really worked. And he's got elite arm talent, Chip. I don't know if I've seen a guy that could. He said he can throw the ball 100 yards, and he threw a couple balls in the Orange Bowl, just flipped them, and they go 50 or 60 yards without even any effort. So
let me ask you this. In the private conversations that you have had with Coach Heupel, whether you're getting ready to do the coaches show or what have you, what has been the momentum coming off of Coach Heupel as the Vols just got better and better as the season progressed?
His message has never changed. His message is, we got to get better today. We got to get better in this practice. We've got to be focused. We got to prepare. It's all about preparation. And I think that's kind of a key to everybody. If in business or whatever, it's about your preparation, and it's about trying to be better the next day. And Coach Heupel keeps it pretty simple. Everybody sees this fancy offense, and it does have a lot of wrinkles to it, but they have basic plays that they work on to make sure they're really good at those basic plays.
Right.
and then the execution, and then suddenly they put these wrinkles in that keep these other teams off balance. But his thing is about preparation. His thing is about making sure that the guys work hard, and Coach Heupel will tell people maybe this program is for everybody because this is the way you've got to approach it. But the ones that buy in are very, very successful.
All right. Shifting sports just a moment. Give us your thoughts on what happens for the rest of the UT men's basketball season.
Well, I think most people agree that it's going to be between Tennessee and Alabama to win the regular season championship. Those appear to be the two best teams. Kentucky came in here and stunned Tennessee a little bit, and perhaps that'll be a bit of a wake-up call. Tennessee it was shocking to see Tennessee get out-rebounded by 20 against Kentucky, a team that was coming off a loss to South Carolina. But it's a talented team. Rick Barnes will get this team squared away and get them playing. They got a challenge tomorrow night at Mississippi State in that rematch. But this is still one of the best teams in the country, and it's still one of the best teams in the SEC. And I think they'll battle Alabama right down to the wire for the SEC championship. And now Kelly Harper's got the Lady Vols turned around. They're undefeated in SEC play. So both the teams are doing pretty well, and I think both teams really have a chance to make it to the Final Four this year, and that would be exciting.
Boy, wouldn't it, though?
Yeah.
Bob, always great talking with you. We appreciate your insight, and it's always fun to listen to Bob Kessling, whether he's doing basketball or football. Let me tell you, this is the kind of guy right here, Bob Kessling. He could read the phone book and make it sound exciting and fun. Bob, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for sharing your time with us.
Chip, you're too kind. Thank you very
Vols.
Much.
Find out more about what's going on, and we'll have the link to Bob and the rest of the Vols on our website. And we're back after